Step over to the office and get the bullwhip.
A whipping? That's all they get after what they've done? Get out of here!
It was a matter of honor.
They're paying $1,000 to whatever kills the two boys that cut up Delilah.
In a time when lawmen were killers.
What are y'all looking at?
You English, Bob?
Outlaws were heroes.
Well, I thought that you were dead.
Hell, I even thought I was dead. Till I found out it was just in Nebraska.
And a bad reputation.
You're the one who killed William Harvey and robbed that train over Missouri?
Was as good as gold.
My guess is you're calling yourself Mr. William Money.
Say what?
You don't look no meaner than hell, cold-blooded damn killer.
I ain't like that anymore, kid.
$1,000 reward, Will.
Nobody's gonna come.
So you still have that Spencer rifle, huh?
Yeah. He's my partner. He don't go, I don't go.
What's it come to 3 ways?
Just because we're going on this killing, that don't mean I'm gonna go back to being the way I was.
Are you really gonna kill them cowboys?
I do not like assassins or men of low character.
We ain't bad men no more. We're farmers.
They're a lot of savages! They're a bunch of bloody savages!
Assassins!
Well, I guess they have it coming.
We all have it coming, kid.
Some legends will never be forgotten. Some wrongs can never be forgiven.
Any man don't want to get killed. Better clear on out the back.
Unforgiven.
It's a hell of a thing doing a podcast with your friends. You hear every opinion they got and every opinion they're ever going to have about a certain movie. But that's just the reason why I'm not doing this alone. Going to split this show up 3 ways. My half and the 2 halves of my co-host. First up, you'd be Christopher Morris, originally out of Methuen. Killer of women and children. Wait, no, that's not good. I mean, lover of women and children. Ooh, wait, that sounds worse.
Even worse.
Let's just say he sure looks like a John Bull to me. Chris Morris, how are you, sir? And what are you drinking?
Michael, doing well. Drinking a big whiskey.
Very apebro.
What if Mikey, I was to say to you, you was a no good son of a bitch and a liar?
I would remember the comeback. And I already screwed it up, but that's okay because we're not alone. There's another one here. He was a comely young man and not without prospects. Therefore, it was heartbreaking to his co-host that he would enter into a podcast about one movie, about a known thief and a murderer, a man of notorious, vicious, and intemperate disposition, whilst all along thinking about another movie. Ladies and gentlemen, David Corsetto, why are you looking at me like that? And how are you? And what are you drinking?
I'm fine. Perplexed, but fine. I'm drinking some old-fashioned JD.
Nice. Right out of the bottle.
Jack Daniels, right out of the bottle. Perfect, appetizer before going to pick your son up at work.
What about you, fat boy? What are you drinking?
Oh, that's not nice.
Hey.
Oh, yeah, it fits in the movie though. That does fit Fat Man.
Yeah.
I didn't want to say fat man because he's a boy in my mind.
Is Dickhead in the movie at all? Is that used? Can I use that as a theme? I am drinking hard cider that I finished off that I was texting you the other day because I didn't know you don't put the cork back in a bottle. True story.
Yeah, that was something. That was something else.
That was very real. Very real.
Excellent.
But we're here to talk about
the best.
1992, Clint Eastwood, Unforgiven, the story of 3 assassins who wreak havoc on a small town with a wonderful, brave sheriff. That's actually 4 assassins.
It's brave. That's a shit show. Yep. Excellent.
A movie that I'm just going to say it right away. 96% on Rotten Tomatoes, 85 on Metacritic, number 68
85.
on the AFI, American Film Institute, top 100 American movies of all time.
Seems
number
low.
68. From 1992, written by David Webb Peoples, starring and directed by Clint Eastwood, also starring Gene Hackman, Morgan Freeman, and Richard Harris in a much smaller role than I anticipated. I say that because this was the first time I've seen this movie was for this podcast.
Incredible.
What?
Incredible.
What?
Fact.
The first time I've ever seen this movie was for this podcast.
Where have you been, Dave?
What?
Where have you been when he was talking, when he was mentioning that? You were going on all work and no play rants. That's what you...
Whoa. We're getting ahead of ourselves here.
I'm sorry, guys. So your brother, I got a voicemail. I was just getting a call. Doesn't your brother know we are recording a podcast now? Hold on. I'm going to play the voicemail.
He said he was on call if you need.
Do you guys ever really watch Unforgiven and just look at it and go, who the hell is playing the Schofield kid? I mean, you got Gene Hackman, Clint Eastwood, Morgan Freeman, Richard Harris, and a bunch of other character actors that this guy is way out of his league. He's basically the Dave of your podcast. So, hey, guys, I'm available, to fill in for Dave because, if it doesn't have a sexy female involved in it, he's not going to be that interested. He'll be half asleep anyway. So, let me know. Bye.
Wow, I didn't know that was uncalled for, I think, Dave.
That motherfucker. That son of a bitch.
However,
usually it's you getting the voicemail, Michael.
However,
Crazy.
yes, he's not wrong. I mean, about the Dave stuff, I was, well, Dave does like sexy women, but I mean, about the Schofield kid. He is, I don't know who this guy is.
No, I wouldn't say terrible, but yeah.
I would say he's mediocre at best.
But
towards the end, he kind of won me over a little, but early on, I was like,
but what a murderer's row he was surrounded by. Even
that doesn't,
Clint,
yeah.
We'll get into it, but I think he was like the last movie we did as one of the two best movies, maybe acting performance, who also directed the movie. I didn't remember.
But look, from a Western standpoint, though, Chris, I would put this just right behind Young Guns.
Yeah, 1A, 1B, not even fucking funny.
Now, just to talk about this movie, as I said, it was number 68 on the AFI 100, so it is, critically and the audience, it is a loved movie, or beloved, nominated for 9 Oscars, including Best Actor, Clint Eastwood, but he lost to Al Pacino for Scent of a Woman. Best Writing, he lost to The Crying Game, a movie that's one of those movies that just nobody cares about anymore.
Right.
Best Cinematography, but it lost to A River Runs Through It. Best Art Direction / Set Direction, but it lost to Howard's End. Best Sound, but it lost to Last of the Mohicans.
Okay, Last of the Mohicans was great. All the other movies, I don't really fucking remember.
Right. There's nothing really.
Well, I mean, it's not like it's going to lose to a better movie. It's a top 5, 7, 10 movie of all time. So, why is whatever? It's I don't care. I don't care what you say.
Well, it did win 4 Academy Awards. Clint Eastwood won for Best Director and Best Picture because he was the producer. Best Actor in a Supporting Role for Gene Hackman, and Best Film Editing for some guy named Joel Cox. I have to say, after watching this movie a couple times, to me, I wrote down the brave, heroic cowboy that our dads and granddads grew up with doesn't exist. That's kind of the theme of this movie. Nothing glamorous about the world. And if you think there is this glamorous cowboy, he's actually a phony and a fake. Boom! I solved the movie.
Right. So that's one of the themes. Right. One of the main themes of the movie. So this was Clint's last Western, and so I think he kind of shot it like a classic Western too. Like the
big wide
cinematography, the score. That's the music. With the strings, it was like perfect, and it was like a Western. And
like
and there was a lot of, like the traditional Western, but yes, it was just blew apart the tropes of previous Westerns.
That he helped build.
Yes. No, absolutely.
It's almost
absolutely.
like this is almost like a sequel to his, the Man with No Name kind of guy.
Well, it was kind of like the whole thing was juxtaposition. Did you say that, Dave?
What'd you say?
Didn't you say that the whole thing was a juxtaposition?
Kinda. I think I said that.
I thought you said that. I thought you texted that. So, but it's what do they call them? Like an anti-Western, or it deconstructs the classic Western, right? But it also has flashes of the Western. You get the ending we'll get to, obviously, but where you're rooting for the devil, basically. But it's it's the good guy. But yes, the basic theme is there are these characters in the movie that are talking about legend, what people know, tell these stories, and it's the legend of whatever, of other things that happen, of will money, of anything, of the duck of
Duck of Death,
the Duke of Death, as a legend. And then all these people, Beauchambeau, English Bob, the kid who the Schofield kid, they were all into the legend, telling the stories. And Will Money is kind of the only person that's not me. He downplays it all, doesn't acknowledge even that. And then he's the only one that shows up as being that legend.
But Ned didn't really prescribe to that either. He wasn't playing up his roles either. He kind of
no. I didn't say everybody, right? But I said there were certain characters that were put in there to perpetuate like their belief of the legend. Like even what's great is the kid telling Will what happened to the whore, why they put a bounty, and
right.
Then,
it's all
he exaggerated. He's exaggerated the tall tale.
It even becomes exaggerated when Will tells Ned.
Yeah.
It becomes exaggerated even after that. So that's basically the theme.
And also, I think, Dave, you called me earlier this week. I think you said that. Like, who is the villain? Is there a quote-unquote villain?
That was for me. There was no true villain in this movie.
Yeah.
And I think when you even look back into those days, there was so many blurred lines with heroes and villains, and I think that's what this movie tried to capture too. And I think it did a great job on it.
Right, and because the traditional Western, you had a villain and a hero, but there's no, as my friend Brian said back in, I think 1992, I always remember him mentioning that there's no good guys in this. There's no villain per se. I mean, obviously Little Bill is a piece of garbage, but he doesn't even kill anybody, in this movie.
It's true.
Right?
Little Bill? Well, Little Bill kills Ned.
Oh, right. Yeah, you're right.
Oh, yeah. Besides that one.
That's the biggest part of the movie. But yeah, he kills Ned.
Yeah. Besides what the movie revolves around. Yeah.
Okay. I guess you can say fuck Sean one more time because I brought it on that one sentence. Right? Okay.
Say that again.
I said we can say fuck Sean Corey one more time because I corrected the biggest plot line of the movie in the end to the person who loves the movie more than anyone on this podcast.
Thank you.
Keep going.
Ned was Morgan Freeman.
I'm speechless. Oh, Ned was Morgan Freeman. Okay. Yeah. Okay. He was the one who died. On screen, Ned. On screen, Little Bill did not kill anybody.
Yeah.
And that was brilliant how they did the Ned stuff off screen too.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So Will is finding out in real time.
As we're finding out.
As we're finding out.
That's how you
kind of. That's when it all switches.
But
we'll get to that.
But you can't. Don't bring that up. That I love that scene, but I want to talk about when we get to that scene.
We'll get to it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Let me see if I have anything else. Theme is about legend versus the actual truth, like we went over.
I wrote down the house is a metaphor. We lost Dave.
We did.
But I said this to him on Sunday when we were watching the football game. He'll be back. He better be back. I just wrote down the house is a metaphor.
Hold on 1 second.
All right, that's fine because
I can get into it, but I will wait till he's back.
I'm going to pause it.
You're back with us?
Yeah, I'm back. Sorry.
We were just kind of throwing out a few things, and I said to you on Sunday, the house is a metaphor.
There he is. So yeah, so I just, where would you rank it, Mike? I know you had just seen it a couple times.
Where would I rank it, all time or in?
I guess it would be tough too. I know David isn't a fan, and because
no, that's not the truth. That's not the truth.
The first thing he said when I would praised that it's a top 15 movie of all time. I know maybe not top 5, but it's in the top 4 movies that we've done, 4 or 5. But the first thing I said when I was praising, first thing he replied with when I was praising it, Andrew hates this movie.
He values his son's opinion.
Why would we care about that?
But hold on. I'll tell you why.
Terrible taste in movies.
Your brother and I, Greg Morris and I, were talking about this, and it's true. The younger generation needs action. They were brought up on John Wick and everything else, so to him, it was just boring until the very end. He
specifically has terrible taste. That is a good point. But he specifically has an extraordinary, just awful opinion. Extraordinarily awful.
David, you were your son's age when this movie came out, so it works. It checks out, balance.
I actually, again, I'm gonna keep saying this. I saw this with your brother when it first came out. He must have forgot it because he's a retard. But anyways,
he didn't forget it. He was probably perturbed that you were bashing this movie, talking about the next movie before we even.
Really?
No.
Wait.
Listen, I love the movie. It's a very simple movie, very well done, but simple plot lines, great characters, great character arc. I love the movie. I don't know if I'd put it in the top 4 that we've done, to be honest.
Well, you probably wouldn't. That's fine. I mean, The Graduate, you would put it 4 ahead of this. I would put it up there with The Graduate. The Jaws, Goodfellas, and It's a Wonderful Life.
Yeah, and Spider-Verse.
Listen, I will tell you guys. On a side note, I would love to do it. On a side note, for our listeners, I would like to do a recap of all the movies at some point. What do you think of that?
It's a wonderful reunion.
Of course. We that's a great idea, Mike.
Year-end in review.
A rack and stack of the movies we've done. A year in review in January.
Right. I like it, but let's get into this absolutely superb masterpiece.
The best Western we've done so far.
Absolutely top 5 Western we've done so far.
This motherfucker.
Because wasn't Nick Cage a Western Spider-Man? I forget.
He was.
Oh, he was noir.
So right away, Kansas, you get a shot, and you get the Western scrolling of how his wife died. You know, you like how that's written. You get the classic strings, and his wife died of smallpox in 1878.
I think I read that Clint wrote that music.
Oh, did he?
I swear he had something to do with it. Yeah, the score of the music or that.
You throw me another curveball. I don't know about that. Dave, look that up. So,
okay, I'm right on
it. So the screenplay actually has Clint changed it for the better. I think the screenplay has the opening scene in Big Whiskey going back and forth with what's happening in Greeley's, back and forth with the shot of Clint.
The billiards parlor.
Does it make sense? Yes, the billiards parlor. It's raining. It shows the one guy with a hooker, and you hear commotion in the other room, and then the other guy is cutting her up, cuts her face up because she said he had a teeny pecker.
That first guy, unluckiest son of a bitch in this movie.
He was.
Mikey, hold that to the end, Mikey, to that part, okay?
They love that kid too, but his friends. But we'll get to it. But I think he holds the girl for a minute, and before he stops the guy says,
the nice
"Hold
kid?
on."
The nice kid.
Yeah. I think he does upon rewatching.
Oh.
And then Skinny comes in, puts a gun to the head of, I forget the big guy. We all agree he got what he deserved. You know?
Oh sure.
Yeah.
So yeah, all she did was laugh at his teeny pecker. Little Bill shows up. He's just gonna whip the guys, and Skinny's mad because she's damaged property. And Bill tells him, "Okay, you bring in 5 ponies, and then no whipping necessary." Alice is not too happy about that, you know.
Now, he didn't punish them more because they're only whores.
Exactly, Mikey.
Pretty much, yeah. Not too.
It's not. Listen, it's not our views on this podcast that whores are any less human than us.
Yes, we are. We've always been pro whore.
They're called sex workers, I think, fellas.
Okay, sorry.
Alice is outraged. He says they're just hardworking men. I wrote down already, Hackman maybe his best performance. I know Dave is going to say Popeye Doyle, but
Poseidon Adventure.
I love him in the Poseidon Adventure when he's hanging.
He was fantastic in that.
He really was. But as Little Bill, he is just
so
mesmerized.
Goddamn charming.
He just, you can't look away. You just want to hear him keep talking. So the girls pool some money together. Then they show Will money at his pig farm. Just to start of how bumbling and hopeless he is, falling down with the pigs. The kids,
they have the fever. The pigs have the fever. The whole thing's a fucking mess.
Yeah, it's a mess. So the kid shows up, the Schofield kid. They call him the Schofield kid because not because he came out of Schofield as Will might have thought, but yeah, the Schofield Smith and Wesson, is that what it is?
And did he say to him, "You're the one who goes by Will Money"?
His uncle told him about it. His uncle told him.
I was expecting more of a thing where he had an alias. That was an alias, but it never really.
Yeah, no, I don't think so. But the kids are always talking trash. I'm a killer too. You know, he's very annoying. You know, I didn't even look up. I don't even know who the actor is. And he said, "You're the best if I wanted it." My uncle told me you're the best if I wanted the killing partner. Or he said, "You're the worst," but meaning the best.
That's not me anymore.
Yeah. So how about me and my partner kill a couple guys? And then he's like, "For doing what?" They cut up some whore, cut her eyes out, even cut her teats. I think they said
cut her ears off.
They cut her ears off, right? Yeah. And then you already see the theme of the legend and stories getting exaggerated,
right, as they get passed down and passed on. And
and he talks about his wife cured him of drinking, you know, doesn't do that lifestyle anymore. So the kid leaves. He's like, "If you change your mind, you can catch me." Show him falling again. I think he's pushing the hogs, and then he's like, you could tell he's thinking about doing it
as he's watching him leave the horizon.
He starts shooting yet.
I think that's the next thing. He goes.
Yeah.
This starts laying the foundation for how hard it is to actually shoot a pistol.
Not so easy to kill a person.
But it's also a lot of foreshadowing too in that the scene too, where you see him, a bumbling guy that's, you know, straight and narrow now, and trying to do the things he did once upon a time, and it's not working out for him.
Well, actually, right. Well, they show the horses. I guess the horses scene is before he's shooting. But when the guy brings in the horse, he's like, "This is no mangy horse." Again, the kid.
And the girl wanted the horse. You could see she was like happy about it.
And they all start.
They start throwing shit at him.
Yeah.
Poor kid.
And so, yeah, she ain't got no face left. I'm sure Lila pulled a little. Didn't love hearing that.
They have a couple scratches.
Will finds his pistols. Terrible shot. The kids are looking at each other like, "What the fuck?" It's pretty great. And he grabs the shotgun.
Did Pa used to kill people?
Yes. Did Pa used to kill people? Did Pa used to kill folk?
Oh.
So yes, and when you think about all the other Clint Eastwood characters in the westerns. Josie Wales would never miss. These are all unbelievable shots. So he puts flowers on the graves, tells the kids he's leaving.
He shows the grave. His wife died at 29 years old.
Yes.
And it's a different time then. Actually, William Money's only 32. He just really hard living.
Some hard living. So
how they lived.
So he tells the kids, go see Sally Two Trees if you have a problem. We'll get to poor Sally Two Trees. He has trouble getting on the horse. That's also foreshadowing, but also just shows that his ineptness.
I read that he did a trick where he like leaned his left arm into the horse to get the horse to keep turning and not let him.
Mikey was holding that one on so you can sound intelligent. Just so you know.
I go to IMDb trivia.
He did his research. Get off his back.
Yeah, I'm not. Listen, all respect. Good job, Mikey.
All respect. So they have the little scene where Skinny's looking at he's trying to get the money from the horse. He calls them you stupid bitches.
And he doesn't. I think he's saying that like, look, what have you done? Because you're going to bring all these all this trouble to Big Whiskey.
Which, by the way, they get off scot-free, kind of.
Yeah.
For this illegal bounty they put on, which causes all this killing. So then we get little Bill scene building his house when Skinny goes there. It's great. He's bragging about building his house. And this is
like he did it all.
Not foreshadowing, but you see like a little human side when he talks about building his porch so he can smoke his pipe and look at the sunset. You know what I mean? You're like, that's all he wants to do. He wants to retire.
That's when that's when you're conflicted with Little Bill, because you like the guy, and then you hate the guy. Because so you find yourself rooting for him, in that scene in particular, you find yourself rooting for the guy because he's just a genuinely he's got his path ahead of him. He knows what he wants.
Except when he says he could run down those whores. Yeah, he run down those whores.
So, but you're also a little conflicted in we'll get to the English Bob scene. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Because you're not rooting for him. Again, I'll wait till we get to it. So Skinny tells him about the bounty. He's like, you could run off them cowboys. Basically, Skinny just doesn't want this issue to happen. And he's like, how about you can run off them whores? So the guys are staying out just outside of town with the Barkeys. I don't know, some family.
Barty or something?
Barty, yes. Sorry, just give me a second.
And
so Will goes to see Ned. You see Sally Two Trees not too fond of him.
You get some nice music, just visuals, the horse splashing through the water, and Ned looking so happy to see Will. So, it's like when he saw Andy Dufresne on the beach.
Yep. So Ned, his one friend for sure, even though he says that to the kid. But so he's like, well, we're farmers. Well, Will tells him about the plan. And Will's like, we thought we did stuff for money before. And he's like, we thought we did. Basically, right. Ned doesn't. Ned also not big on the legend and the myth, the stories.
He's a realist.
And he's like, what did they do? They cut up a woman, face, her eyes, her fingers, tits, everything but her cunny. That's my fantasy football team, by the way. Everything but her cunny. So, yeah, and Ned's like, holy Jesus. So he says, I guess they got it coming. And Ned reminds him it wouldn't do if his wife was still around. He's like,
that's true.
And then he says, Ned asks about the kid, will he mind splitting it 3 ways? And they ride out, and Ned decides that he's his partner, right? Right. So you get a nice shot of the
Sally
scenery.
Is not happy.
Yeah.
Sally hates Will.
Sally's smiling face.
She's a handsome woman. You can't take that away from her.
Yes, that is an apt description of good old Sally. Sally Two Trees. Two Trees. Yeah.
She don't like it much, does she?
So,
You riding off
and they
with me.
talk about Sally not liking him. He's like, she knew him from before.
Well, you know, Sally's engine, and engines ain't over friendly, Will.
I don't blame her. I ain't gonna hold it against her. She knew me back then. She knew what a no good son of a bitch I was. She just ain't allowing that I've changed. She don't realize I ain't like that no more.
Well, you know, Will.
I ain't the same, Ned. Claudia, she straightened me up. Cleared me of drinking whiskey and all. Just because we're going on this killing, that don't mean I'm gonna go back to being the way I was. I just need the money. Get a new start for them youngsters.
Yeah.
Ned, you're...
A quick sidebar, real quick sidebar. Wouldn't you like to see Real Money as a prequel? Wouldn't that be entertaining?
Well, like I said, that the point is you're not rooting for him. Like what?
It might make you like. It might be entertaining.
The
but
whole point of the movie is, you know, it's not. It's that all those the glorifying the killing of people is turned on its head. You know, like it's not easy to kill someone. It's not.
Yeah, but we live in a John Wick era now where we like to see killings.
So you would take your prequel would be like screw the original and the point of it.
Just go balls to the wall.
That would be great. That would be great.
Yeah.
Maybe Clint's son could do that. Clint's son, who is in, he's been in a couple things. He can play the young. He can play the young Will Money. So and then Clint's talking about the shooting the guy. The teeth came out of his back of his head.
You can see he just regrets it. He's like, he didn't do anything.
He goes, he didn't deserve to get shot. And you just, you know, he's like, this guy hated me. This guy hated me. Just talking about all the guys. And he was such an asshole.
But Ned openly recognized that Will was a crazy son of a bitch.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right?
Yep. But I'm saying he was probably just simply an asshole. It works on him.
But Will also talked about how he hasn't had a drink since he met his wife.
Right.
And I think that's a lot of the part of him when he was in that mode. He was a crazy son of a bitch.
Fueled by the drink.
Yes. Well, that will come into play. That it's like, you know, as a sign, but, obviously. But so next scene is on the train with English Bob talking about the assassination of who, Dave?
Garfield.
James Garfield, 1880. Excellent. Nice. Mike? And who shot him?
Gitro.
Holy.
Did I get it right?
No.
I did not write it down.
You guys are all over it. Garfield, underrated president, by the way. Read a good book on him. So
he hates Mondays and loves lasagna. That's all I know about Garfield.
Oh God.
Oh my God.
Always gonna ruin things.
Boom.
So English Bob's going on about you know, not being too upset about their assassination.
Right. Presidents, they're not queens, they're kings, they're not royalties.
What a pompous dick English Bob was, though.
What a job by Harris.
Yes.
Right? Richard Harris.
Great acting.
So good in this.
I see him, I think, oh, he's coming in. He's the main villain. Here we go.
But again, we're talking about tall tales. He creates his own tall tale by having his biographer with him.
Well, yeah, that's what, yes, we get, and one of my favorite scenes, we'll get to. Most of the scenes with English Bob are my favorite, even when he's on the train. So the guy's like, that's English Bob, you better lay off him. And
you know what a John Bull is?
It's a British, was in cartoons for like.
Yeah, I looked it up, right. They said it was kind of what you Americans call the UK.
Yeah. John Bull. So then he gets in the pheasant shooting thing with the guy, and the guy's, you know.
So it shows he is a good shot. That's not,
you know, he can shoot, right, when he's not drunk. Right. English Bob is a notch above, right, most of the people of legend, right? But again, everything is. And
he just looks like a classy, you know, Englishman, the way he is upper class. Or the way
great. I love, so, and Beauchambeau, yeah, is eating it up. Loves it. They go into town. He looks at the sign. He notices it. He's like, "Oh shit!"
Love the scene.
The deputy advises them surrender his firearms. Bob says they don't have any, and
while he sees it on his hip.
Yeah, while he sees it on him, and he goes into. They go into the barber, gets a shave. So, I love this. This is like a little bit underrated scene with the deputies.
Yeah.
And the guy is, I'll say it for the first time, like, fantastic. The one-armed guy.
The chubby guy, he's my favorite actor.
Fat man?
Fat man.
No.
Handsome son of a bitch.
The one-armed guy.
You know,
talking about
that whole goddamn
he was also talking about
or the whole house for that
talking
matter.
about Little Bill's. He ain't no
He was
carpenter.
the worst damn carpenter.
He didn't say nothing, huh?
That's what they look like, that's all. Christ, maybe he's tough, but he sure ain't no carpenter.
Maybe he ain't so tough.
Seemed like he was scared. Little Bill? Him scared?
You never seen him up against any like these ones. Killers.
Little Bill come out of Kansas and Texas, boys. He worked them tough towns.
Just wondered. Anybody could be scared.
Well, he wasn't scared, boys. He just ain't no carpenter.
No, but Batman was also talking about, how bullets hurt in different climates.
Yes,
So-
that's great. I love that. Little, and then the one guy shitting his pants, and he's asking if Little Bill was nervous, and the guy's ragging on him, and he's like, "Fellas, Little Bill came out of Wichita, and he's Little Bill's tough," and he's like, "No, Little Bill's not scared. He ain't no carpenter. He's just no carpenter."
Yeah.
I just like. And the guy has to load his guns himself. He doesn't trust anyone else, and he has like three. The guy's like, "You got 3 guns in one arm."
It's like I want to be able to shoot back.
Yeah. So yeah, and then they flash back to Bob talking to the barber about how great a king and queen are, and he's like, "And a president? Why not shoot a president?"
He's like, you'd go up to a king and a queen and try to shoot them, and you tremble in their greatness.
Right. Which that's been.
He's pure pompous, is what he is.
It's great
because he's completely fake.
Then, so you're not rooting against him, but you almost are, right? In this next.
Yeah.
So he comes out. He asks where he asks where Alice is, and he's realizes he comes out, and they're surrounded by the deputies. Hackman is so good in this part.
When English Bob sees Hackman,
he's stammering.
Shit.
He's defeated.
Yeah.
He's defeated.
He says something under his breath, and then he goes to say something. He has to say it twice because he's like, and then he's like, "I thought you were dead. I heard you broke your bloody neck." He says.
Yeah.
He says, "I heard that one myself, Bob. I thought I thought I was dead myself." And
he confronts, and then Gene confronts the writer.
Yeah.
The writer
he pees himself.
pisses his pants.
Yes. And it's great because he's like, "Oh, I guess that means you boys can read. I guess that means you boys can read, right?"
Oh, right. The sign. I didn't even, yeah.
And then he's like, "So you must have seen the sign that says surrender your firearms. You're not armed, are you, Bob?" Just so great that they knew each other in the past. And then he's like, "Not really, just a peacemaker."
Not really, yeah.
Yeah. And then he's like, he takes a gun, tells the guy to be careful with it. That doesn't happen. And
I love when his writer friend tries to show Bob. I'm sorry. He tries to show Little Bill his stories, and he goes and reaches into the bag, and they all draw on him.
Yeah.
Right.
But Bob says he says something like easy, like relax.
He shakes his head like, "You can't do that. You can't." He's not used to the the intricate of having firearms.
I thought that was a great scene.
And when
That
he sends one of the guys in to get the book,
Don't
he's don't get wet.
Duke.
Duke. Well, good afternoon, gentlemen. I'll have that 32.
I love how they frame it. You see, he goes, "I'll have that 32, Bob," and you see English Bob's face, Harris's face close up, and he's like, "You leave me at the mercy of my enemies."
You've been talking about the Queen again? On
His
Independence
enemies.
Day?
You've been talking about the Queen again on Independence Day? That's when he started kicking the shit out of him. Yeah, and he's like, "You think I'm kicking you, Bob?" He's like, "No," and he's basically sending a message, and he's saying that, "I'm talking to you who wants, there ain't no horse gold," he says, and he starts mentioning the different places.
Right. So word as fast as word traveled that there is money, he's trying to get the word out that nope.
Yes.
Which why? Because he just doesn't want trouble in his town.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I mean, these guys.
He's the sheriff. Yes.
And they're not.
Doesn't want.
It's not even happening in his town. But
there it is.
But I mean, they come into town, they get their information, then they go chase him.
Well, it becomes a thing. You know what I mean?
I know.
It becomes his, mission. He's
a control freak.
He's right. He thinks he's upholding the law. He thinks, nobody with firearms. He thinks this is a safe place. I'm gonna do things by my rule. And so, anyways, they like I have here, he's the villain, but there's no villain per se. There's no true antagonist or protagonist for that matter. So then they go back. So Ned and Will haven't caught up with the kid yet. He asks him if he gets himself a woman. He's like, "You just use your hand?" You notice that? Will looks at him. He's like, "What?" So they
that's when
they camp out.
Oh, they camp out first, right?
Yeah. No, right. I'm sorry. They
oh, they already camped out, right?
They camped out, and Ned is not right. Ned is not happy about camping. So yes, they start hearing shots. The kid's just shooting at them. Terrible shot, obviously, since he's blind. There's a lot. What's great in this movie? There's a lot of everything that's yelled undercover whenever there's like shooting. Like Clint's yelling out to get him some water. We'll get to it later, but it's like, "Hey kid, don't go shooting at us no more." It's just like I love the yelling out from cover in this movie. So of course he's mad that Will has a partner. Ned's a great shot. He's like, "Get your hands off it." Ned wanted to check to see if it was bent.
Mike brought up a good point earlier this week where they introduced Morgan Freeman to a bunch of different characters.
Yes.
How they never talked about his ethnicity, right?
I didn't say it so smoothly, but in 1880, I mean, we're talking.
This is 15 years after the Civil War.
15 years after the Civil War,
but no one mentioned the N-word.
No one
Morgan Freeman in that movie.
I think is kind of good. Like they didn't use that as anything in the movie. I mean, we see Gene Hackman whipping him, and that just makes you think things. But it didn't rely on that. Maybe the character originally isn't supposed to be a black guy. I don't know. But
that's a great point, though.
It feels like some of these hillbillies, it would come up.
Right.
Yes. No, I agree 100%. And is it ironic that Little Bill does not use it, that Gene Hackman does not use it in this movie, but he uses it as Dave's hero, Popeye Doyle?
Shut up.
Just seems crazy to me. So anyways, I'm not blind, you assholes. This is when the kid, I don't get annoyed by him. Like you Dave, you said you hate him.
I get annoyed by him. He was annoying.
I get annoyed by the character.
until the end.
Yes, we'll get to there. I love.
Yeah, and then you were so annoyed by him. I think, but look, to give the guy some credit, I think he played that character up pretty well. He played him very pompous, cocky, because he was trying to be cocky and pompous because he wasn't that person. And you learn that later in the movie, right?
The no-win situation.
Yeah.
So
I think he was trying to be someone he wasn't to impress these guys that were obviously ruthless in their day.
Yes. So he looks at. I love when he points the gun at Ned and he's like, I'm not blind, you asshole. And you see Ned's. No, he doesn't say I'm not blind yet. Right.
But he threatens him. And I was watching it before the podcast.
Oh, he's looking at his gun. Right.
Yeah. But I was watching, and that's a great point because I was watching that right before the podcast. And I'm thinking to myself, he's never killed anyone. We already know that. If you watch the movie, you know that.
Yes.
And he draws his gun out with such
he's pointing his gun because Ned has his gun.
Right.
And Ned's checking it. But I love the look Morgan Freeman gives. He's like, this guy, he looks up at him. He's like, is this guy fucking serious?
Yeah.
This kid thinks he's a badass. He's pointing a gun at me. He's like, get your hands off my gun. He's like, is he serious? So the kid says, how much is it 3 ways? So that's when they're like, okay, now we know. They go off riding. This is when Will looks at the clouds. He's like, oh, shit. Kid's like, what's the matter with you? Ned's like, what do you mean? He's looking at there's a storm coming after us. So I sneaky laugh every time at this scene, seeing Will, the bumbling Will. But Ned tricks the kid saying, I am a great shot. He says, do you see that hawk up there? And he's like, yeah, I see him. He goes, I could shoot him through the eye. He's like, I could do the same. And then they show Will looking up like a dope. Hey, Will, jackass. There's no hawk. That's when he's like, I'm not blind, you asshole. He's like, oh, Jesus. He's blind, Will. So Will is like, just smooths it over. He's fine. How far can you see?
He shot that canteen pretty damn good.
He did. I'm surprised, right?
How bad.
He's like, Jesus. So this is a great part as far as the theme goes to English Bob in jail and Little Bill reading The Duck of Death. So Beauchambeau is like, no, those stories are accurate. This eyewitness testimony. And then I love when he sees these go, you were there? And this is where you get like, oh, English Bob's kind of full of shit. You know what I mean? These stories aren't as, glorified, but tells him about Corky Corcoran, two-gun Corcoran. His second gun was not a gun. His dick is the size of his barrel. He tells him the real story. Corky didn't have 2 guns. Bob was so drunk, he came in, he started shooting at him, he missed him. Corky ended up blowing his hand off. And he's like, and Beauchambeau's horrified. He shot him without a hand. He's like, well, Bob wasn't going to wait till he grew back a hand. And he's like, comes over, Bob walks over slowly, pop, shoots him in the liver. It's like something, just basically telling the stories you're hearing from English Bob are not what you. They're not very pretty. So, and then they show the next scene. Beauchambeau's out of the cell, and Little Bill's telling him how it really is not easy to shoot a man.
Faster was his mistake. If he hadn't been in such a goddamn hurry, he wouldn't have shot himself in the toe with that first shot. He would have killed old Bob. Look, son, being a good shot and being quick with a pistol, that don't do no harm, but it don't mean much next to being cool-headed. A man who will keep his head, not get rattled under fire. Like as not, he'll kill you.
But if the other fella is quicker and fires first,
then he'll be hurrying and he'll miss. Look here. That's about as fast as I can draw and aim and hit anything. More than 10 feet away. Unless it's a barn.
But if he doesn't miss?
Then he'll kill you. Yeah, that's why there's so few dangerous men around like old Bob. Like me. It ain't so easy to shoot a man anyhow, especially if some bitch is shooting back at you. I mean, that'll just flat rattle some folks. Let me show you something.
Just a minute.
Look here.
I know, just
take that. take it. Yeah. Now, there's the key. All you gotta do is shoot me. And you and Bob can just ride on out of here free as birds.
Is it loaded?
Wouldn't do you much good if it wasn't. First, you got to cock it. Go on, cock it. Now you got to point it. Go on, point it.
You know, you got to be methodical.
This was like it was like a teacher teaching a class. I don't know. It's just
Great. Well,
something.
he loves, you know, he loves the audience himself, right?
Yeah.
He loves talking about himself as well. Yeah.
Then I love how he tells him, I want you, you know, go ahead, shoot me. Right?
It's like, is it loaded?
Yeah. And then he's like, wouldn't be good if, you know, if it wasn't.
Much good if it
Put
wasn't.
your finger on the trigger.
It's great. And then he's like, go ahead,
What if
shoot me.
What if I gave it to him?
Give it to him.
See, I thought he was just looking for an excuse to. I was waiting for a bullet to go off. He was looking for.
I was tense in the scene. I thought this was going to end badly.
Yeah.
For English Bob. You know what I mean? But it was tense, you know, when you see it, and I really think it was great when you see English Bob stand up, and he's like, and Beauchambeau's like, I don't really want to give it to him. I was just bluffing. He's like, give it to him, Bob.
Because he's like, what if I give it to him? I was like, what are you doing, dude?
No joke. And then he's like, you were right not to take it, Bob. I would have killed you. Right.
That was great.
Yeah, great stuff.
So he was pretty confident that English Bob was a complete puss, full of shit.
Well, he's even saying English Bob's not like English Bob wouldn't go crying and stuff like that. So you know, he was talking about these other guys who were crying when they were going to die, and he's like, English Bob wouldn't do anything like that. So I think he just like, you know, he's shot an unarmed man, and
he's not some hero. He's not this.
Oh,
But you can see how disgusted Bob was with himself when he realized the gun was loaded. Right? You see like the defeat in his face when.
Oh yeah, he's like, kind of.
When little Bill when he unloads a gun, you can see that he's like,
oh yeah.
Fuck.
When he yes, yeah. English Bob's like, oh shit, sorry. So they're out in the rain. I have written down, Will calls the horse a fucking whore. Did you notice that? Like yeah. Pouring rain. You see the wagon take the only scene, if you want to call it, Richard Harris is in one scene with Clinton and Morgan Freeman, because he goes by on the train. Oh, after English Bob yells, right?
We missed that's where I read that in the trivia too, that, you know, he comes in very proper, high class English. And then as he's tipping his hat to the whores,
the ladies, the women, and the hero.
On the way out, he's like doing the low class Cockney accent, like who he really is. This, you guys, you know, you whores, and you'll be in hell. And it was just like, this is the real guy.
Savages, all you know, basically.
And that's what's like, I didn't steal your writer.
Yeah. He just decided to stay on his own. Right?
Stay.
He can stuff it, whatever he says. So then they reach town. And Will won't drink. They're like, you should. They make it seem like the alcohol will, you know, that's the reason Will got sick, was because he didn't have whiskey. And I believe that.
Keep his
that was
belly
a good
warm.
message. I think that's a good message.
Solid message. But of course, they missed the sign. No fire.
That's just good medicine. That's just common sense.
Yeah.
So he didn't drink. You see him coughing, and they ride past the ordnance sign. I love it. So they're at Little Bill's leaking house, and Beauchambeau's writing his biography. This is when he tells the guys with the guns, they're cowards. He says assassins and men low character, and he's like, English Bob's not a coward, wouldn't cry. And then the guy says, maybe you should hang the carpenter when it's raining. The look on
Hackman, yeah,
Hackman's face. What? Like,
but this is where I talk about the house as a metaphor, where he thinks he has control. He thinks he can do it all, and it's just
it's true. It's good. You know what? And I didn't see that mentioned many places, Michael, but it definitely sounds accurate.
Did Dave go to bed?
No.
There he is. I see him.
He's making his bed.
He's getting his chores done.
So the deputy comes out to the house and says, fellas are into town, at least 2 of them have guns. And Ned and Will are at the table, the kid's up with one of the hooas. And they, Will starts talking nonsense already. And Ned's like, what? He's like, I can see what's his name? Worms were coming up.
He's definitely like hallucinating, but he's also, you can see he's very disturbed or burdened. Maybe that's what I'm thinking of.
Yeah, that's just the beginning of it. You really get to see, I think you get to see a lot of vulnerability. I can't even say it. And I love Ned. So they made, nobody's perfect in this movie. Ned likes himself some, ladies.
Billiards.
You could tell he already for some billiards. Yes, he mentioned. And he says, I got to go check on the kid. And he's like, Billy, you don't think you'd want to go up, would you? So the deputies surround Will. I ain't drunk. I guess he didn't see the sign. I ain't armed.
See, I think he should have just given his gun. Okay, here's my gun. Sorry. But again, he maybe wasn't quite right in mind.
He was sick. He was. William Hendershot. Well, Mr. Hendershot, what if I was to say you were a son of a bitch and a liar? Then he says about shitting his pants if you. And he's like, you would shoot me if you had a gun, right? And he's like, well, I suppose, but the fact is, I don't have a gun. And then this is
when you start to like really kind of hate Gene Hackman a little bit.
Yes. Well, I like Gene Hackman, Little Bill, the character.
Little Bill.
Loves Little Bill, hates Gene Hackman.
He loves Popeye Doon. So yeah, I agree. He's just sadistic.
Yep.
It gets even worse, but yeah. So he's like, what's this, for snakes and such? And he really kicks the crap out of him.
Oh my God.
You can tell that Will is sick as well. And the fact is he took advantage of that and beat the shit out of him. So
Will tries to grab a bottle and he beats the shit.
Yep.
And yeah, I love, so Dad and the kid jump out the window.
Well,
great
jump.
shot. Yeah. Oh yeah.
Just kind of fall. Whoa.
Falls off the roof. Then you see Will crawling and you see the view of the people looking at him. You know what I mean? Like that's just looking at his, like this guy is supposed to be something.
Yeah.
So, and then Little Bill's smacking around Alice. This was one of my favorite like lines of
I thought you said your favorite. You just like
Hackman delivers when they're like they were on. What did you say?
I thought you meant like he's slapping around Alice. It's one of my favorite scenes.
Well, that was good too. No,
just as fuck.
So he said, but she's like, oh, they were going to Fort. The other girl's like, they're going to Fort whatever, and she's like, you just kicked the shit out of an innocent man. And he's like, just the way he delivers it, he's like, innocent of what? Just so great. So the 3 of them get out. They see, Will's on his horse sideways. Ned stitching him up. The kid's like, he must have got a pistol jammed. He would have shot.
Yeah, he's like, how come? There's no way that would have happened that way.
Right. Then the kid's like, eventually he's like, I'm a better killer than him. So, and because he's like, how doesn't it pain you to see him like that? He's saying to Ned, he's getting disgusted at how Will's basically vulnerable, and he's saying, I'm scared of dying. I just love that they show that side of him. He's like, I've seen Claudia, and Ned's like, oh, that's good, Will. You seen Claudia? She's got worms crawling over her face. And like, holy shit,
she looks beautiful.
Oh, that's not good, Will. No. He's like, don't tell my kids none of the bad things I've done.
Too late. Like, Sally Two Trees is with them.
Yeah, this is true. So the kid's talking, wondering, he basically thinks Will's gonna die. He's like, I'm more of a killer than he is. And he's like, you think so? So then Will starts getting better. He wakes up. He says to the girl, "So
well, wait,
smooth."
before that, so like Will's near death, and the next scene you just see Ned and the kid like, oh, let's get up off these prostitutes. Okay, girls, bring back some medicine. Like, whoa, they're just getting right back into it.
Yeah. Well, they have urges. Men have urges. So this is when Will so smoothly says, "I must look kind of like you." No
Yeah.
I don't have
not
game.
so smooth.
She brings him his hat. She's like, "Oh, your buddies have been taking advances." Like I said, he's almost comical because he always like repeats when everybody says. He goes, "Advances."
He doesn't quite get it.
Yeah, she doesn't get it. And then he's like, "Oh, you ain't ugly like me." He's like, "You're a beautiful woman." This is when he's like, just because of my wife. So next scene, this is the great scene that you were talking about. The poor Davy boy. How did you not remember his name, by the way?
That was so like that's the thing that the jump from that scene to that scene like threw me off a bit. I was like,
because
he just got back from death. They were off scouting. All of a sudden, they're all three together. I feel like something was
almost a little edited, like quick.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, but Mikey, I gotta admit this, right? So after you told me what you told me on Sunday, and I'm rewatching it multiple times, right? I'm watching it tonight. After they kill poor Davey, right? All I can picture is Will Ferrell screaming.
I'm very badly burned.
Here, reload this.
You missed him.
I got him.
He ain't killed.
Maybe, maybe not. Got him through the gut, I think.
You think he's gonna die? You think we killed him?
Yeah. We killed him, I guess.
I'm dying, boys! I think you shouldn't have cut up no woman, you asshole!
What was
All I
that?
can think was Austin Powers and Will Ferrell. I'm like, oh my God. Why did you tell me that shit?
Oh no, you shot our friend. Oh, I'm dying.
Can I had some water? I'm really thirsty.
You get your friend some water.
Great.
But hold on. There's a little. But hold on though. There is a cool. This is a good scene that captures Will in the movie, where you can see his anxiety pumping. He's picking at rocks on the where he's sitting, and like just nervously flicking them.
I think it's right. The kid. So let me paint the picture for those people who are listening to this who haven't seen it for some reason. So he shoots the horse. They quickly cut to Ned being a great shot, shoots the horse, and it falls on the kid. Right. The guys don't know what happened. Ned's like, I love how Ned is like traumatized.
He realizes he just doesn't have it anymore.
He's like, I can't do this anymore. And Will's like, you got to shoot the kid. You got to shoot him before he gets down on those rocks. And then we got to go get him. That kid get ugly. And so Will is like, how many shots do I have? Ned's still in a haze. He's like, God damn it, how many shots do I have? It's like 2. And he's like, so Ned is so affected. The kid is blind, asking for a play-by-play.
Yeah,
he's kind of blind. So he's like, 2 more shots. So he's like, I'm not very good with this. Shoots, misses, shoots, gets him. But yes, it's great.
I'm dying.
You think you killed him? Yeah, we killed him finally. But he's looking at Ned, and they're both like, he's like, it's just like so grim. You know what I mean? It's not like they're coming in and you're supposed to be killing. This guy's not even a bad guy, like you said. His friends obviously love him. They shot Davy boy.
Yeah. Like this is,
and then some more great. yelling undercover, like yelling from cover. He's like, "Will you get him some water? For Christ's sake, get him some water."
And the reason they knew that was Davy Boy is because of those lifelike drawings that they had of them.
But you can see that they had such remorse. They didn't want to do it. They they felt completely horrendous about it.
Yeah.
Like you said, Dave, he's picking the rocks. It's like it bothers him. It's just such a
it's like a childlike thing to do.
It was so well done. And it's just like not the glory of like a regular Western. You know what I mean? They shoot 90 dies lying in the sun while they look at each other and feel guilty, you know?
Yeah.
So poor Davy Boy, pour one out for Davy Boy. I mean, that wasn't really a villain.
Sweet kid.
Ned's like, I'm going back. That's it. I'm done. Did Dave leave again?
No, I'm not still here.
Oh. So Ned's like, I'm heading back to Kansas. He tries to he gives Will a rifle. And unfortunately, Will doesn't keep it because this, actually, I didn't, you don't think about it at the time. This kills Ned when he gives him the rifle.
Because he has
the Schofield, what kind of rifle?
Oh, it's the gun that was used. That's how. Okay, that's right. Yeah.
Right.
Winchester.
But it's a Winchester rifle too. That's basically. So if he didn't have it, they wouldn't have known who. They would have been like, oh no, it's just an innocent African American. Let's let him ride on his way.
Right.
Not any.
That's the 1880 way.
Yeah, exactly. So. Yeah. So, but I love how Will is like. Kind of like sad. He's like, Ned. He goes, don't listen to the kid. He's full of shit. He's like, we'll give you your full share. It's like he's kind of like desperate. It's his only friend.
Yeah.
The Spencer rifle. Yeah. Like I said. So they bring Ned in. And little Bill, Ned, you got to tell us about your friends.
We don't see Ned get caught, do we?
No. You don't see him get caught. You see them when they're all cheering that they caught one.
Okay.
Well, right. The first you see them talking in the town, and then you see they caught one. They come Ned and put Ned in them. And then he's like, the first thing, Ned, you got to tell us about your two friends. We want to hear the names and whereabouts about those two sons of bitches. You're like, oh shit. And then Will and the kid, they're outside the outhouse. And he goes back and he's whipping Ned. That that has a little shades of.
Just like yeah.
Slavery, no.
A bit.
Right. But he doesn't use anything. So yeah, they show everybody just hearing the whips. They, each time he hits them. And then I love Ned Beauchambeau is writing down the names he's saying. And then it's like, well, no, you told us before. Yeah. This, and because he shakes his head, he goes, hell if I did. Hell if I did.
Mm-hmm.
So then he's like, oh, go get what's her name? Alice and the other whore. Sorry if I forget her name. I don't mean any disrespect, of course.
That's their titles.
So he's like, when their lies don't match your lies, well, I'm not going to hurt the woman. He's like, I'm going to hurt you, but not gentle like before, but bad. And this is probably, that's the worst of Little Bill right there, right?
Yeah, that's really
you can see the what the fuck moment in Ned's face too at that point.
Ned's like,
because you love Ned.
I'm screwed. Yeah. And Morgan Freeman, I noticed on the more recent watches, is like, it's kind of underrated. He's just he's great.
Yeah, he's great in this movie.
Not that it's surprising, but I just didn't even remember how great he, and like I said, I was surprised at how.
And was he
great Eastwood was
Morgan Freeman yet? You know what I mean? Like,
no, yeah, he was
before Shawshank.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, Shawshank was 94.
Okay, so
like he wasn't doing big.
Yeah, no, he was big. He was
known.
He was well known.
This was after Driving Miss Daisy?
Stand by Me.
And after
you're right. No, Lean on Me. That's right. Lean on Me,
yeah.
Driving Miss Daisy. Okay, yep.
Yeah.
I said Stand By Me. What an idiot.
I don't think he was one of the teens.
Train.
In Derry, Maine. So then the scene, and the guy's got to go drop a deuce. But it's funny because they try to be like, I'll go out there with you. He's like, what are you gonna do? Wipe my ass? So they want to save this guy, but he's like, Will tells him the kid to go get him, and they make this scene kind of tense, right? The kid opens up the wrong side.
Yeah.
Assassin, and shoots him 3 times. And again, they purposely, it's not the old Western shootout where you're killing him. He was on the shitter.
Yeah.
Yep. Like how demeaning. He shoots him 3 times, and then this is where they're the worst shots of all time.
That's the photo. Yeah, they're all shooting in different.
They're all shooting different ways, right? But again, this is saying like people don't shoot. People aren't good shots in the West. So the next scene is my favorite shot, and I think it's my favorite scene now, right? You see Will standing there next to the tree, right? With the sky. It's just such a beautiful shot. And the kid's down there, and you see the girl on the horse far away. And this is when the kid starts, coming clean, and he's
This is when he does his best acting in the whole movie.
This is so good. Such good lines.
Was that what it was like in the old days, Will? Everybody riding out, shooting. Smoke all over the place, folks yelling, bullets whizzing by.
I guess so.
Shit, I thought they was gonna get us. I was even scared a little, just for a minute. Was you ever scared in them days?
I can't remember. I was drunk most of the time.
I shot that fucker 3 times. He's taking a shit, and he went for his pistol, and I blazed away. First shot, I got him right in the chest. Say, Will.
Yeah?
That was the first one.
First one what?
First one I ever killed.
Yeah?
You know how I said I shot 5 men? It weren't true. That Mexican had come at me with a knife. I just busted his leg with a shovel. I didn't kill him enough to need it.
Well, you sure killed the hell out of that fella today.
Hell yeah. I killed the hell out of him, didn't I? 3 shots and he was taking a shit.
Take a drink, kid.
Jesus Christ. It don't seem real. I ain't gonna never breathe again, ever. How he's dead. And the other one, too. All on account of pulling a trigger.
It's a hell of a thing, killing a man. You take away all he's got, and all he's ever gonna have.
Best line.
Like I said, I actually think of this line because it's really true. Hell of a
I guess they had it coming.
thing. Killing a man take away all he's got and all he's ever gonna have. And yeah, Clint delivers it so great.
We all have it coming.
But it also speaks to like the nature of the Western, where you're rooting for the good guy to kill all the bad guys, and it's like saying it's not that easy to kill a guy. You know what I mean?
Yep.
So yeah, deep. And then the kid says, I guess he had it coming. We all had it coming, kid.
Yeah.
We all have it coming, kid. I mean, so the girl comes with the money. This is still the part of my favorite scene because I love how this turns. And because almost comical too, because him repeating things, Ned's dead. What do you mean Ned's dead? They got a sign on him, when she's telling him, but it's so great. He went south yet. He was like, nobody killed Ned. Why would they kill Ned? And then he's like, who killed him? Little Bill killed him. They get a sign on him, and then he's like, he keeps repeating everything she says. And he's like, and she's like, and Ned finally started talking, and it's when he grabs the bottle.
Yep.
This is when it actually shifts. It's kind of shifting to a different movie. Not really a different movie, but it's like, all right,
a different Will Money.
This is a different Will Money, and this is the ending. This is what you people want who love westerns, and you know what I mean? And he starts drinking it. It's so great.
Well, that's where everything completely shifted, and you see the character completely. The character actually completes itself there.
This bumbling
because it goes
guy,
back to that drink, and that's what created him.
Right,
in the old days.
This bumbling guy is now Will Money again, and she's like, Little Bill said the same Will Money that dynamited the Pacific, killing women and children, and he's like, he done a lot worse than that. He's gonna, I love it. It's how he's gonna kill you too, and yeah, and he takes the drinks, and the Schofield kid is a little afraid. He's like, I'm done, I'm out.
Yep.
He's like, give me the gun, kid. He thinks he's gonna shoot him. He's like, you're the only friend I got. But I have written down, this is like a real Western now. It's like, this is like the dramatic finish people want, but it's just.
Ned's
so
gone, the kid's gone. It's just the money man.
And then you get the music and the it's raining again.
They're
all celebrating. Why are they celebrating? They seem to be celebrating.
They're celebrating because all the word's out that all those assassins, would-be assassins, are done out of the picture. That's my guess.
Well, I also think they're all a bunch of bumbling idiots as well.
That's true too.
Yeah,
They'll do whatever.
So they're very simple. They're simple folk that felt like they did something great.
Whatever Little Bill says, they're happy for.
It's also kind of a pep rally. We're gonna go get them. We're gonna go head out, and they think they're gonna get them.
That's right.
Drinks
which is two of the best shots in the entire movie. The lifting of the barrel. You see the barrel, and then everyone in commotion, like they don't even point it out. You just see Clint in the background.
Yep.
Like Michael Myers behind the bushes or something. Like
it's great. And then Little Bill even finished what he's saying, and you hear.
Well, my favorite line is,
"Who's the fella who owns this shithole?"
Who owns this shithole? I just love that line. It's a simple line, but you can see that there's a lot of hesitation after he asked that question because they're all confused. So who the fuck is standing in front of him?
Who's the fella that owns this shithole?
You fat man. Speak up.
I own this establishment. Bought it from Greeley for $1,000.
You better clear out of there.
Yes, sir. Just hold it right there. Hold it!
So this is what's great. It's like he blows this guy away, and Little Bill's like outraged.
Well, sir, you were a cowardly son of a bitch.
You, sir, are a coward. You
just
you
shot
killed
an
an
unarmed
unarmed
man.
Well, he
should have armed himself.
He's gonna decorate his saloon with my friend.
Which is also a great line.
Yep.
I've literally watched. I know you're gonna call me a simpleton, but I've literally watched that ending probably over the last 2 weeks 6 times.
No, I'm not gonna tell you.
I love that.
I like the previous part that I just said best, but this is just so great how it's done. And then he's like, you would be William Money out of Missouri, killer of women and children. And he's like, that's right. I killed everything that's either walked or crawled. I'm here to kill you, Little Bill, on account of what you've done to Ned.
You'd be William Money out of Missouri, killer of women and children.
That's right. I've killed women and children. killed just about everything that walks or crawled at one time or another. And I'm here to kill you, Little Bill. For what you did to Ned. Boys better move away.
What's great here, how unafraid is Little Bill that he walks towards him.
That's true.
He's only got 2 shots. You notice in the scene, he actually is like, walks towards him and he says he's only got 2 shots. Once he's out of that one, unload on him. Right.
Well, and I guess the shred of dignity he has, he's not going to relinquish that will. He's going to own his own fate right to the end, and that's what you got to respect about Little Bill.
Yeah, he's not a coward. But oh yeah, he says when after he's done his shot, when he shoots, take out your pistols and shoot him down like the mangy scoundrel he is, right? But very slow job by Little Bill here. He's like, click. He's like, misfire. Shouldn't he actually been going for his pistol? Because if he shoots him anyways, right? But
well, you gotta think that Little Will thinks he's gonna die in that scene anyways, right? You would think. So I think he is at that point like, whatever.
I don't even think that Little Bill thinks he's gonna die. Yeah, of course. So then he throws a rifle, bends a rifle at him, draws a Schofield, shoots Little Bill, and everybody's just terrible shots, right?
But they've talked about how hard it is to shoot. And I thought the shooting, I was like, wait, he got Hackman? That's it? I mean, it wasn't, but.
No, shot everybody. Then you see Beauchambeau get up. Oh, he shoots the fat man from through the back. Shoots Floyd. Is that the one-armed guy? Clyde, I
think.
Clyde. Shoots him, just wounds him. Because we'll see the vicious ugliness of and Beauchambeau gets up, he has blood on him. I'm a writer. He's like, letters and such. This is when he's like and then he starts asking him who he killed first.
I think he wants to start writing about him now.
Yeah. Of course he does. And the fact that Will wants nothing to do with this guy is hilarious.
You killed 5 men, single-handed.
Yeah.
That's a Spencer rifle, right?
That's right.
Yeah. Who'd you kill first?
Huh?
When confronted by superior numbers, an experienced gunfighter will always fire on the best shot first.
Is that so?
Yeah, Little Bill told me that. And you probably killed him first, didn't you?
I was lucky in the order. But I've always been lucky when it comes to killing folks.
And so, who was next? It was Clyde, right? He must have killed Clyde. Well, could have been Deputy Andy, wasn't he?
All I can tell you is who's gonna be last.
He's like a paparazzi of the old West.
Yeah.
Who did you shoot first? I know who I'll shoot last. The guy just leaves. It's perfect.
Is it not coming in smooth?
We got you. Yeah. We heard most of that, Jeep Dave.
We got you. So
on the move.
But yeah, he's asking him, who'd you kill first? And he's like, well, all I know is who I'm gonna kill last, right? The guy leaves, right? And then Little Bill, you see he's alive. The music is building. He cocks his pistol and who was taking another drink, knocks it down with the pistol. And this is obviously great. I quote this still. And he's like, I don't deserve this to die like this.
I don't deserve this. To die like this. I was building a house.
Deserves got nothing to do with it.
I'll see you in hell, William Money.
says, deserves got nothing to do with it, right?
I feel a little bad, right? He didn't deserve.
Oh, you do feel a little bad, but then he's like,
you forget about Ned though.
I see you in hell, Will Money. And he says, Will says, yeah. Before he like cocks on him, he says, yeah, he will see him in hell.
And blows his face
He's
off.
basically the devil. You're rooting for him. You're rooting for this guy for this great ending shootout. And it's kind of, it's pretty brutal, and he doesn't fight fair, obviously. He shoots unarmed men, he shoots wounded men. Yes, after he shoots Clyde, who's
men in the back.
Yeah, he shoots Clyde, who's getting up. He just, matter of factly kills him.
Then he gives a great little speech on his way out of the building.
This is even better, right? This shows even more of a monster he is.
All right, I'm coming out. Any man I see out there, I'm gonna kill him. Any some bitch takes a shot at me, not only gonna kill him, I'm gonna kill his wife, all his friends, burn his damn house down.
He's gonna kill their wives, their families, their friends, and burn their houses down if he has to.
Yeah. I was watching that scene with Grace, who was appreciating it because she has good movie taste. I was just watching that ending scene.
Well, the very kid that I'm going to pick up right now did not even like the ending of that movie, which is horrific.
I mean, I'd be worried if he did, because his movie taste is so bad. If he likes any movies that I like, I'm going to get worried. So yes, he threatens everybody, burns their houses down, and you see the deputy who's afraid to shoot him. He tries to give it to the other guy. The deputy was afraid. So that reminded me kind of the line in Usual Suspect when he's like, what if what if you shoot the devil, if you try to shoot the devil in the back, what if you miss? You know what I mean? Because Will Money's kind of like the devil, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, it's great. He yells out of town, you better bury Ned right. They're all looking at him in awe. And then goes back, and you get the old Western, the same shot, the music, and you get the scroll of that his mother-in-law went to visit the grave, and he went to prosper with dry goods. So him and his kids had a happy life.
Yeah.
And nothing on the marker to explain why her daughter married a known thief and murderer, a man of notorious vicious and intemperate disposition. Is that what you said?
Yeah, I had trouble with that word too. Yeah,
I did.
Yeah, it was like there's no explanation as to what she saw in him or what he saw in her. She probably wanted to fix him and did. I don't know.
Like Dave said, a simple story. It's more like the theme of a Western, and it was a freaking masterpiece. Just a masterpiece.
Talking about it this much has made me like even more.
Watch it again, Michael. So I hadn't seen it. I'm going to tell you, I used to love it. Me and John, my brother John, would quote it all the time for years, but I hadn't watched it that much in the past, 10 years or so. And I was like, well, maybe it won't be as easy to not to badmouth Dr. Strangelove, but some of that was a little slow getting through. Watching this again, I'm like, oh my God, I love this even more.
Well, as much as you rag on me, I actually recorded it like a month ago and watched it with my son a month ago before we even decided we were going to do this movie. So I've always loved the movie.
Well, you moved
I don't know if I put it up as high as you do. I love the movie. I love the acting, and I loved watching it more so over the last few weeks.
That's good to hear.
Multiple times.
All I'm saying is you use the words, it's a very good movie. That's what you said.
It's a very good movie. Listen, it's a very good movie. We've done a lot of great movies on this podcast, and this is right up there.
Okay, thank you. So it's a great movie.
Yeah, it's a great movie.
It's not like a very good movie.
Yeah.
Again, put a bow on it. Unforgiven. I'm sad that
now you say
Unforgiven.
You say that's Clint's last Western. I have not watched Cry Macho yet, but is that
I haven't
Western?
either.
It looks kind of Westernly. He's got a hat on.
He's 92. I don't know.
That's the crazy thing is
how ridiculous is that? 92.
You think how old?
By the way, Gene Hackman's like 90 something.
Right. They're all alive except for Richard Harris, Gene Hackman, Morgan Freeman, him.
Gene Hackman retired like 15,
Yeah.
20.
I don't know how he's doing.
I don't
but-
think he's in very good health either, Gene Hackman.
92.
Yeah, I know I saw he put out a statement after Richard Donner passed, but I don't know if it was him or his.
Gene Hackman, one of the greats. I don't know if I call him underrated because he's just maybe.
No, I would say he's one of the best actors of our time. Yeah.
And also unlike De
Lex
Niro,
Luthor.
Unlike De Niro, because he was actually great as Lex Luthor.
Yes, he was.
Unlike De Niro, he didn't do a Dirty Grandpa or a Meet the Fockers 3. You know what I mean? Like
He never sold out. He never sold out. No.
Yeah, and Al Pacino doing Jack and Jill.
Oh man.
But would you? I mean, he did something to Mooseville or something, didn't he? Do
was that him?
I think
It was Warren Beatty.
Well, I think you can say the same thing about Clint too. Clint never compromises movie integrity either.
No,
His
well,
acting-
Clint's not the actor. Clint's not the actor.
I mean,
Clint's had a pretty amazing career though.
Is Every Which Way But Loose considered a classic? I don't know. The
doing
movies
that
with the
now.
orangutans.
We're doing that.
Oh, I
and-
guess you're right. You're right, Mikey.
So you mentioned Dr. Strangelove, which was directed by who, David?
What?
Who directed Dr. Strangelove?
Stanley Kubrick.
Which brings us to what we're going to be doing next time.
Which, let me, by the way,
Halloween, baby.
I'm very, very excited about.
We know.
This
I
movie.
think John Carpenter's underrated though.
Listen, your brother told me to watch 237 last week, and I've watched it multiple times, and it's changed that movie for me. Changed the movie for me. It's so great.
I can't wait to talk a lot about John Carpenter's Halloween.
You're jumping
I mean,
up.
we'll do The Shining next, but
Is that the
again,
the theme is jump ahead to the next movie.
yes, that was the theme.
So yes, we are doing the Stanley Kubrick, Jack Nicholson, Stephen King classic, Shelley Duvall classic, Scatman Crothers classic, The Shining.
This is going to be a long one.
This is Dave.
As much as I tried to, Dave was just disrespecting Unforgiven by talking about this. I'm looking forward to it, obviously. Just the music.
Great.
I'm gonna watch the opening scene right after this.
The score of that movie is probably one of the best we've watched so far.
Okay, we'll talk about it. Don't.
Next time. Now, any closing statements on Unforgiven?
I'll go first. Let me go first. This is Chris's movie, so let me go first so I don't steal his thunder. I think the acting in this movie was great. I love the story arc of this movie. I love Clint's character, how you start from that bumbling farm guy and he ends back to where he was before. And it's basically saying, you know what? You are who you are. That's it. So you can do the best you can in life. And if that's the best you can in life, then that's it. And I thought it was just a great movie. And then Sean Correa, go fuck yourself again. Go ahead, Chris.
He's not gonna like that. But no, I think I've said it. Just one of my favorite movies. I just think such a masterpiece. Not only the, just some of the best performances of, I think honestly, Clint Eastwood's acting in this is underrated. I said it was underrated, and then I was like, did he get nominated? And he got nominated for Best Actor. I was like, well, good, he should have. But Hackman should have won every Oscar in the history of Oscars for that performance, if they could do that. But again, the theme of it, just one of the best, just a masterpiece.
We nailed it. So you could find the show on Twitter at @fine_movies, on Instagram at Fine Movies, Fine Spirits, and tell a friend about us. Make a friend and tell them about it. I think that's all we have. So thank you guys for listening. Thank you for subscribing. And all right, we're out of here. Say goodbye, David.
Bye, guys.
We talk about great movies while drinking. We talk about great movies while drinking.
Yeah, we talk about great movies while drinking, and we feel fine.
I hate looking at Dave when I read. I'm gonna not even look. I'm just gonna hold this in front of my face.
How come I can't see him? Sorry.
I covered my face.
Okay.
I'm talking and I'm trying to cover the camera because I don't want to look. I want to just read. It's a hell of a thing doing a podcast.
Fans, not experts.